Have you ever felt tired even when you're doing nothing? Not tired in your body, but tired deep inside your mind. You wake up and your thoughts are already running, replaying problems, comparing your life, overthinking the future, and bringing back old pain. And slowly, day by day, this mental noise steals your peace, your focus, and even your happiness. In Buddhism, self-love is not about ego or showing off confidence. It is something far more powerful and pure. Self-love means learning how to protect your heart, how to stop harming yourself with your own thoughts, and how to become your own safe place again. A calm mind and a happy life don't come from a perfect world. They come from a peaceful inner world. So today, we will walk through 10 Buddhist self-love lessons that can gently transform your mindset, strengthen your inner peace, and help you create a life where you feel calm, stable, and emotionally free. 1. Stop fighting yourself. You were never your enemy. Many people suffer, not because life is always unfair, but because inside their own mind, they are constantly battling themselves. They judge their emotions and say, "I shouldn't feel like this." They hate their weaknesses and call themselves too sensitive or too broken. They punish themselves for mistakes that already happened. Replaying the past again and again like self-punishment will somehow fix what is gone. Over time, this becomes a silent habit, and without realizing it, a person turns their own heart into a battlefield. But Buddhism teaches something very powerful. You cannot heal in a place where you keep attacking yourself. A calm mind does not come from forcing yourself to be perfect. It comes from learning how to accept yourself as a human being who is still growing. Your sadness is not your enemy. Your fear is not your enemy. Even your struggles are not proof that you are failing. They are signs that you are carrying pain, stress, and pressure that needs understanding, not hatred. A calm mind begins the moment you stop treating yourself like the problem and start treating yourself like someone who deserves compassion. Think about it. If a friend was struggling, you would not insult them, you would not call them useless, and you would not keep reminding them of their worst moments. You would speak gently. You would listen. You would support them. So why do you speak to yourself with such cruelty when you are the one who needs comfort the most? Self-love in Buddhism means you become your own safe place. When you make a mistake, you don't destroy yourself. You learn and move forward. When you feel weak, you don't shame yourself. You strengthen yourself slowly. When your mind becomes heavy, you don't panic. You breathe and remind yourself that emotions come and go like waves. Your mind becomes lighter when you stop holding yourself hostage and start speaking to yourself with kindness, patience, and understanding. Because the truth is simple. You were never your enemy. The real enemy was the harsh voice inside you that kept convincing you that you don't deserve peace. And the moment you silence that voice, your calm begins to return. 2. Self-love means loving yourself even while you're healing. Many people delay self-love because they believe they must first become better to deserve it. They tell themselves, "When I fix my life, then I will respect myself. When I become successful, then I will feel worthy. When I stop feeling anxious, then I will finally love myself." But Buddhism teaches a deeper truth. If you only love yourself when life is perfect, then you are not really loving yourself. You are only loving a version of yourself that is easy to accept. Real self-love is not something you earn after you heal. It is something you practice while you are healing. Because healing is not a straight line. Some days you feel strong, and other days you feel tired again. Some days you feel calm, and then one small thing triggers your old pain. And many people break themselves even more because they start thinking, "Why am I still like this? Why am I not improving fast enough? Why am I still struggling?" But Buddhism reminds us to be gentle with our journey. Your pain does not make you weak, it makes you human. Your emotions are not proof that you are failing. They are proof that something inside you needs attention and care. The moment you stop rejecting your struggles, your mind becomes calmer. Because you stop adding extra suffering on top of your suffering. Self-love means you don't abandon yourself when you feel low. You don't speak to yourself like an enemy when you fall. You don't punish yourself for being imperfect. Instead, you hold yourself with compassion and you say, I am trying, I am learning, I am growing slowly, and that is enough. In Buddhism, loving yourself is like treating yourself the way you would treat a wounded person. You don't shout at someone who is injured and tell them to run faster. You let them rest, you give them time, you help them recover. So treat your mind the same way. Let yourself heal at a natural pace. Because the truth is, the strongest people are not those who never break. The strongest people are those who keep rebuilding themselves without hating themselves. And when you learn to love yourself even in your unfinished state, your heart becomes softer, your mind becomes quieter, and your life becomes more peaceful. 3. Detach from what drains your energy, even if you love it. One of the most powerful lessons in Buddhism is that attachment is often the hidden root of suffering. Many people think their pain comes only from problems in life, but the truth is, a lot of pain comes from holding on to things that are slowly breaking your peace. You keep holding, even when it hurts. You keep staying, even when you feel drained. You keep trying, even when your heart is tired. And the reason is simple. You are attached. Sometimes you are attached to a person who doesn't treat you well, but you stay because you remember the good moments. Sometimes you are attached to friendships that take your energy, but you stay because you fear being alone. Sometimes you are attached to habits, attention, validation, or even your phone, because silence feels uncomfortable. And slowly, your mind becomes restless, your heart becomes heavy, and you start losing yourself in the process. Buddhism teaches that detachment does not mean you stop caring, and it does not mean you become cold. Detachment means you stop clinging. It means you stop forcing something to stay in your life when it is clearly stealing your peace. Because when you cling too tightly, you suffer more. You suffer when people change. You suffer when life doesn't go your way. You suffer when things don't stay how you imagined. True self-love is having the courage to protect your energy, even if it is difficult. It means realizing that your mental peace is valuable and you cannot sacrifice it for everyone. Many people become emotionally exhausted because they are always available, always understanding, always giving, always forgiving, while nobody is protecting them. Buddhism teaches balance. If something keeps draining your spirit, that is not love, that is bondage. Detachment is also about letting go of emotional weight. It means you stop carrying guilt that is not yours. You stop carrying responsibility for people who refuse to change. You stop carrying stress about things you cannot control. Because the calm mind is built when you understand this. You cannot control everything in life, but you can control what you allow to live inside your heart. Sometimes detachment means creating distance. Sometimes it means lowering expectations. Sometimes it means saying no. Sometimes it means walking away quietly. And yes, sometimes you might still love what you let go of. But you choose peace because peace is more important than attachment. When you detach from what drains you, you don't lose yourself. You finally return to yourself. You start sleeping better. You start thinking clearly. You feel lighter inside. And you realize something beautiful. You were never meant to carry everything. You were meant to live with calmness, dignity, and freedom. 4. Your thoughts are not commands, you don't have to obey them. One of the biggest reasons people feel stressed, anxious, and mentally tired is because they treat every thought in their mind like it is the truth. A negative thought comes, and they believe it. A fearful thought comes, and they follow it. A painful memory comes, and they fall into it. They don't realize that their mind is constantly producing thoughts the same way the sky produces clouds. Thoughts keep coming, even when you don't invite them. And if you keep obeying every thought, you will never feel peace. Buddhism teaches something very freeing. Your thoughts are not commands. Just because your mind says something does not mean you must accept it. Just because you think something does not mean it is real. And just because a thought is loud does not mean it is true. Many thoughts are simply old fears, old trauma, old stress, and old habits repeating themselves. They are not a message about who you are. They are a reflection of what you have been through. For example, your mind may say, "You are not good enough." Your mind may say, "People will leave you." Your mind may say, "You will fail again." Your mind may say, "You are behind in life." And when people believe these thoughts, they start living as if those thoughts are facts. They become nervous before even trying. They doubt themselves before even starting. They feel sadness without even knowing why. They suffer not because life is attacking them, but because their own mind is controlling them like a master. This is why Buddhism teaches mindfulness. Mindfulness means you become aware of your thoughts without becoming a slave to them. You observe your mind like you observe a river. The river moves, but you don't jump in and get dragged away. You simply watch it, you let it pass. Because the moment you learn to observe your thoughts, you create distance between you and the thought. And that distance is the beginning of freedom. A calm mind is not built by fighting thoughts aggressively. The more you fight, the louder the mind becomes. Instead, Buddhism teaches calm awareness. When a negative thought appears, you don't panic. You don't argue. You don't chase it. You simply notice it and say inside yourself, "This is a thought," not "This is me," not "This is my reality," just "This is a thought." This practice changes everything, because then you realize you can choose your response. A thought may say, "You are weak," but you can respond with compassion and say, "I am healing." A thought may say, "You will never change," but you can respond and say, "Small steps still matter." A thought may say, "People don't care," but you can respond with wisdom and say, "I will care for myself." The more you practice this, the quieter your mind becomes. Because your mind stops controlling you when you stop obeying it blindly. And slowly, you start living from peace instead of panic. So remember this deeply. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. You are the one watching them. And when you realize you don't have to obey every thought, you finally begin to breathe again. That is how calmness is built. That is how happiness returns. 5. Choose small, peaceful habits. They change your whole life. Many people say they want a calm mind and a happy life, but their daily routine is full of stress, rushing, overthinking, and emotional chaos. They wake up late, grab their phone immediately, scroll through problems, bad news, and other people's lives, and before they even step out of bed, their mind is already tired. Then they spend the whole day reacting to everything, arguing inside their head, holding tension in their body, and carrying emotions they never release. And at night, they wonder why they feel empty, anxious, and restless. Buddhism teaches something very important. Your life is shaped by what you do repeatedly, not by what you do once. A calm mind is not built in one day. It is built through small, peaceful habits practiced every day. These habits may look simple, but they are powerful because they slowly reprogram your mind. And when your mind changes, your entire life changes. Self-love is not only about feelings, it is also about the way you live. It is the way you treat your body, your thoughts, your time, and your energy. Some people talk about self-love, but they keep staying up late, eating in a way that makes them feel weak, living in constant noise and allowing stress to control their mind. Buddhism teaches balance. If you want peace, you must create a lifestyle that supports peace. Small, peaceful habits can be things like starting your morning slowly instead of rushing. Even if it's only 5 minutes, sitting quietly and taking deep breaths can calm your nervous system and reset your mind. It can be drinking water and caring for your body like it matters. It can be walking outside for a few minutes and feeling the air, the sky, and the present moment. It can be keeping your room clean because outer mess creates inner stress. It can be choosing silence sometimes instead of constant music, constant talking, or constant scrolling. One of the strongest Buddhist habits is learning how to pause. Most people react instantly. Someone says something and they respond with anger. Something goes wrong and they panic. A problem appears and they overthink. But a peaceful mind learns to pause even for 2 seconds before reacting. This pause may look small, but it changes your whole personality. Because the pause gives you control over your emotions, and control gives you freedom. Another peaceful habit is protecting your mind from negativity. Not every conversation deserves your energy, not every argument deserves your response, not every person deserves access to your thoughts. Buddhism teaches that the mind is like a garden. If you keep feeding it poison, weeds will grow. But if you feed it calmness, wisdom will grow. That's why small habits like reading one peaceful quote, listening to calming words, avoiding toxic content, and limiting drama can slowly make your mind lighter. And the truth is, you don't need big changes to become a calmer person. You don't need to escape your life or run away from everything. You just need to change your daily pattern. Because when you repeat calm habits, your mind learns calmness naturally. When you repeat peaceful actions, your heart begins to trust life again. A happy life is built quietly. It is not built through pressure, it is built through consistency. Small, peaceful habits are like drops of water, and over time they create an ocean inside you. You start noticing that you don't get triggered as fast. You don't react as much. You don't overthink everything. You start feeling stable. You start feeling emotionally safe within yourself. So never underestimate small habits. A few minutes of meditation, a few deep breaths, a little silence, a little self-control, a little gratitude. These are not small things. These are the building blocks of a calm mind and a happy life. 6. Stop comparing. Your journey was never meant to look like theirs. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy your peace, and most people don't even realize how deeply it is affecting their mind. You may not say it out loud, but inside you keep measuring yourselves against others. You see someone's success and you feel behind. You see someone's beauty and you feel less. You see someone's lifestyle and you start questioning your own life. And slowly, this habit turns your mind into a place of pressure, self-doubt, and silent sadness. Buddhism teaches that the mind suffers not only because of what happens in life, but because of how we attach ourselves to thoughts and judgments. And comparison is a powerful form of attachment. It is attachment to the idea that you should be somewhere else, that your life should be different, that your journey should be faster, that your progress should be bigger, that your results should look like theirs. But the moment you believe that, you stop appreciating your own growth, and your mind becomes restless. Here is the truth that most people need to hear clearly. Your journey was never meant to look like anyone else's. Your story is unique. Your pain is unique. Your background is unique. Your responsibilities are unique. Your tests are unique. Your timing is unique. So it makes no sense to measure your life with somebody else's ruler. Yet people do it every day, and they destroy their happiness with it. Think about this deeply. 2 seeds can be planted on the same day, but one grows faster because it receives more sunlight, better soil, more water, and less pressure. The other may grow slower because its environment is different. But that does not mean the second seed is useless. It simply means its growth is happening under different conditions. Your life is the same. Some people get support early. Some people have connections. Some people have less stress. Some people have a smoother path. While others fight internal battles, family burdens, financial pressure, health issues, loneliness, trauma, and responsibilities that nobody sees. So when you compare your results to someone else's results, you are ignoring the invisible reality behind their story and yours. Buddhism teaches compassion, and that compassion must also be for yourself. Self-love means you don't treat yourself unfairly. It means you stop speaking to yourself like you are failing just because your progress is quiet. It means you stop calling yourself late just because you are not in the same place as someone else. Because you are not competing in the same race. Life is not a competition. It is a journey of awakening. One of the biggest reasons comparison hurts so much is because most of it happens through what you see, not what you know. People compare their real life to someone else's highlight life. You see the smiles, but you don't see the stress. You see the money, but you don't see the emptiness. You see the relationships, but you don't see the toxicity. You see the confidence, but you don't see the insecurities. Social media makes it even worse because it shows you the best moments, the cleanest pictures, the proudest wins. It does not show you the nights they cried. It does not show you the anxiety behind the scenes. It does not show you the problems they are hiding. So when you compare yourself, you are comparing your struggles to someone else's performance, and that will always make you feel less. But Buddhism teaches awareness. Awareness means you see clearly, and once you see clearly, you stop harming yourself. The moment you catch yourself comparing, you should pause and ask yourself, what am I doing to my own peace right now? Because comparison is not motivation. Most of the time, comparison is poison. It turns gratitude into dissatisfaction. It turns progress into pressure. It turns self-love into self-hate. A calm mind is built when you stop looking at your life like it is behind. Instead, you start looking at your life like it is unfolding. You are not behind. You are becoming. You are not late. You are learning. You are not losing. You are growing in a way that is preparing you for something deeper. Buddhism reminds us that everything has a season. Some seasons are for building. Some seasons are for healing. Some seasons are for waiting. Some seasons are for rising. If you compare yourself in the healing season to someone in their success season, you will always feel like you are failing. But you are not failing. You are simply in a different part of your journey. Self-love means trusting your timing. It means accepting that your growth may be slower because it is stronger. Some people change quickly, but fall again quickly. Some people grow slowly, but become unshakable. A calm mind is not built through speed, it is built through stability. And stability comes when you stop rushing your life just because someone else is ahead in something that was never meant for you. Also remember, everyone has different karma, different circumstances, and different lessons. Buddhism teaches that every person carries their own path of cause and effect. Some people are tested with success, some are tested with hardship, some are tested with attention, some are tested with loneliness, and each test is meant to awaken something inside you. That means your life is not wrong, your life is teaching you. But if you keep comparing, you will miss the lesson. When you stop comparing, you start focusing. You start seeing your own progress. You start being proud of small victories. You start respecting your discipline. You start honoring how far you have come. Even if your life is not perfect, you begin to feel calm because you are no longer fighting reality. You are no longer rejecting your path. You begin to walk with peace because you understand that your journey is yours and it is sacred. So, if you want a calm mind and a happy life, stop comparing your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 20. Stop comparing your healing process to someone's achievements. Stop comparing your quiet growth to someone's loud success. You are not here to copy anyone, you are here to become yourself. And the moment you truly accept that, your mind becomes lighter. You stop feeling pressure, you stop feeling jealousy, you stop feeling behind. Instead, you start feeling present. You start feeling grateful. You start feeling calm. Because the happiest people are not the ones who have the most. The happiest people are the ones who stop competing with others and finally make peace with their own life. 7. Forgive yourselves, not because it was okay, but because you deserve peace. One of the deepest reasons people struggle to feel calm and happy is because they are carrying a heavy, invisible burden inside their heart. And that burden is guilt, regret, shame. The painful memories of what they did, what they said, what they didn't do, what they didn't say, and the moments they wish they could go back and change. Many people smile outside, but inside they are still punishing themselves for something that happened years ago. They move forward in life, but their mind stays trapped in the past like a prisoner who refuses to leave the prison door, even when it is open. Buddhism teaches that suffering is not only caused by what happened, but also by the way we continue to hold on to it. Holding on to guilt may feel like responsibility, but most of the time it is self-destruction. It is like drinking poison every day and hoping the past will become pure. It does not heal you, it only makes you weak, anxious, and emotionally tired. Many people don't forgive themselves because they believe forgiveness means saying, "It was okay." But that is not what forgiveness means. Forgiveness does not mean what happened was right. Forgiveness does not mean you are proud of your mistake. Forgiveness means you accept that you cannot change what already happened, and you refuse to keep bleeding for it forever. It means you choose peace, not because you are excusing the past, but because you are done torturing yourself. A calm mind cannot be built while you are holding yourself in chains. Every time you remember your mistake and attack yourself again, you restart the pain, you reopen the wound. You make your heart suffer again and again. Even if nobody else is blaming you anymore, you keep blaming yourself. Even if life has moved on, your mind keeps dragging you backwards. And this is why inner peace disappears, because the mind cannot be calm when it is stuck in replay mode. Buddhism teaches that the past is already gone. It is only living through your thoughts. And yes, your actions have consequences, but your suffering does not have to be endless. The Buddha's teachings guide you toward wisdom, not self-hate. The purpose of regret is not to destroy you. The purpose of regret is to wake you up, to teach you, to make you more conscious, to make you more compassionate. This is why self-forgiveness is not weakness. Self-forgiveness is strength. It takes strength to look at your past and admit, "I was wrong." It takes strength to accept, "I was lost." It takes strength to understand, "I made that decision because I was unaware, immature, wounded, or desperate." And it takes even more strength to say, "But I will not stay there forever." Many people think they must punish themselves to prove they have changed. But Buddhism teaches that real change comes from awareness, not self-hatred. When you hate yourself, you don't grow. You shrink. You become afraid. You become ashamed. You hide. And shame keeps you trapped because it convinces you that you don't deserve a fresh beginning. But Buddhism teaches compassion, and compassion includes you. You are also a living being who deserves peace. You are also a soul trying to find light. You are also a person learning through life, through mistakes, through pain, through lessons. So instead of punishing yourself forever, Learn the lesson with honesty and then release the suffering with kindness. Self-forgiveness also means accepting that you were doing the best you could at that time with the level of awareness you had. Maybe you were young, maybe you were angry, maybe you were mentally tired, maybe you were in survival mode, maybe you were trying to protect yourself, maybe you didn't know how to handle emotions properly. That does not mean what you did was perfect, but it means you were human. And being human means you will make mistakes. That is part of the path. The Buddha taught that everything is changing. Your emotions change, your mind changes, your personality changes, your life changes, and you are also changing. So why are you judging yourself as if you are still the same person who made that mistake? Why are you treating yourself like you are still that old version? If you are becoming more aware today, that means you are already improving. The fact that you feel regret is proof that your heart has grown. A person who does not grow never feels regret. A person who grows starts seeing clearly. Forgiveness is also freedom, because once you forgive yourself, you stop living with a heavy heart. Your mind becomes lighter. You stop waking up with guilt. You stop overthinking your past. You stop fearing judgment. You stop feeling like you don't deserve happiness. You finally allow yourself to breathe again. But forgiveness does not happen in 1 second. It is a practice. Some days you feel okay. Some days the past returns. Some days the memories come back strongly. When that happens, don't panic. Just remind yourself calmly, I have already learned. I have already grown. I am not that person anymore. A calm mind is created when you stop replaying the same pain. And a happy life is created when you allow yourself to start fresh. Buddhism teaches that every moment is a new beginning. Every breath is a chance to return. Every day is a chance to awaken. So forgive yourself, not because everything you did was okay, but because your soul deserves peace. You deserve to live without chains. You deserve to move forward without carrying shame like a punishment. You deserve to heal without feeling unworthy. Because the truth is, you cannot go back and fix the past, but you can stop letting it control your future. And when you finally forgive yourself, you don't become careless. You become wise. You become humble. You become stronger. You become lighter. And that is what true Buddhist self-love looks like. 8. Stop seeking love from people who don't know how to love. Many people spend their whole life searching for love in the wrong places, and they don't even realize that this is one of the biggest reasons their mind never feels calm. They wake up every day carrying invisible pain, not because they are truly alone, but because they keep chasing affection, validation, and attention from people who are emotionally empty, emotionally immature, or simply not capable of loving correctly. And the saddest part is, when those people fail to love them, they start believing they are unworthy. They start asking themselves, what is wrong with me? They start blaming their own heart, their own kindness, and their own loyalty. But Buddhism teaches awareness. And awareness means seeing the truth clearly, even if it hurts. The truth is this: some people don't know how to love, not because you are unlovable, but because their heart is not developed enough to give what you need. Some people are full of ego. Some are full of selfishness. Some are full of fear. Some are full of unresolved trauma. Some are full of emotional confusion. And when a person is full of chaos inside, they cannot give peace to others. They will love you only when it benefits them. They will stay only when it is easy. They will care only when they feel like it. This is why Buddhism teaches that attachment causes suffering. When you attach your happiness to someone else's attention, someone else's love, someone else's behavior, you hand your peace to them. You become dependent. You become anxious. You become emotionally unstable. Because now your happiness is not coming from within. It is coming from what they give you. And if they stop giving it, your mind collapses. Many people are not suffering because they don't have love. They are suffering because they are trying to force love from people who cannot provide it. They keep texting someone who ignores them. They keep staying loyal to someone who does not respect them. They keep sacrificing for people who don't appreciate them. They keep showing kindness to people who only take and never give. And over time, this destroys self-love. Because slowly you teach your mind a dangerous lesson. My needs don't matter. My emotions are not important. My respect is negotiable. In Buddhism, self-love means you stop abandoning yourself. It means you stop leaving your own soul in the hands of people who don't value it. It means you stop begging for love and start creating love inside yourself. Because love should not feel like torture. Love should not feel like anxiety. Love should not feel like you are always chasing, explaining, proving, or struggling. Love should feel like peace. Many people confuse love with attachment. They think love means holding on tightly. But Buddhism teaches that real love is not clinging, it is freedom. Real love does not control. Real love does not manipulate. Real love does not make you feel small. Real love allows you to breathe. It allows you to be yourself. It allows you to feel safe. So when you keep seeking love from the wrong people, you don't just lose peace, you lose your identity. You start changing yourself to be accepted. You start hiding your real feelings so they don't leave. You start lowering your standards so you can keep them. You start tolerating disrespect, silence, and emotional neglect just to avoid loneliness. But inside, your heart becomes tired. Your mind becomes restless. Your spirit becomes weak. Buddhism teaches that suffering increases when you hold on to what is harming you. If a person is consistently draining you, confusing you, or hurting you, then the attachment itself becomes the source of pain. Your soul is telling you the truth, but you ignore it because you want love. And that is why self-love becomes important. Self-love means you listen to your soul. You honor your inner warning signs. You respect your emotional boundaries. And here is the reality. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your softness. Not everyone deserves your loyalty. You must be careful who you give your heart to. Because the heart is like a temple. If you allow everyone to enter, chaos will enter too. You cannot keep giving the most sacred part of you to people who treat it like nothing. Some people are not bad people, but they are wrong for you. Some people are not evil, but they are unaware. Some people are not hateful, but they are emotionally asleep. And Buddhism teaches that you cannot awaken someone who refuses to wake up. You cannot teach love to someone who only knows selfishness. You cannot build peace with someone who enjoys drama. You cannot create stability with someone who lives in confusion. Self-love is realizing that you don't need to convince anyone to love you. The right people will not require you to beg. The right people will not require you to perform. The right people will not require you to shrink. The right people will treat you with respect, naturally. And when you stop seeking love from people who don't know how to love, something powerful happens. Your mind becomes quiet. Your heart stops shaking. Your emotions stop being pulled up and down. You stop feeling addicted to messages, attention, and approval. You start feeling stable because your peace is no longer controlled by somebody else's behavior. This is a major Buddhist teaching. Happiness is not found in dependency. Happiness is found in inner freedom. The more you depend on external love, the more you suffer. But the more you build inner love, the more you become calm and unshakable. Now, this doesn't mean you stop loving people. It means you stop destroying yourself for people. It means you learn the art of loving without losing yourself. It means you learn the art of being kind without being used. It means you learn the art of caring without becoming emotionally enslaved. Sometimes self-love means walking away quietly, not with anger, not with revenge, not with drama, but with peace. Because you finally understand that you cannot heal in a place that keeps breaking you. You cannot become calm while you are surrounded by emotional storms. You cannot build a happy life while you keep chasing people who make you feel unwanted. And some people will make you feel guilty for choosing peace. They will say you changed. They will say you became cold. They will say you became selfish. But Buddhism teaches that protecting your peace is not selfish. It is wisdom. A wise person does not sit in fire and call it loyalty. A wise person does not stay in pain and call it love. A wise person learns to leave what destroys their spirit. Also remember this: you do not need everyone to love you. You only need peace. You only need self-respect. You only need a heart that feels safe. Because when your heart feels safe, your mind becomes calm. And when your mind becomes calm, your life becomes happy. The people who truly love you will never enjoy hurting you. They will never make you feel confused. They will never make you feel like you are too much. They will not treat you like a backup option. They will not disappear and return whenever they want. They will be consistent. They will be respectful. They will be emotionally present. So stop seeking love from people who don't know how to love. Not because you hate them, but because you love yourself. Not because you are arrogant, but because you want peace. Not because you are giving up on life, but because you are choosing a better life. In Buddhism, the greatest love is the love that frees you from suffering. And sometimes, that love starts with one decision. I will no longer chase what is not meant for me. This is how you protect your calm mind. This is how you protect your happiness. This is how you build a life where your heart is no longer begging, but blooming. 9. Sit with yourself in silence. That's where your healing lives. Most people think peace will come when life becomes quiet, when problems disappear, when stress finally ends, when people start treating them better, or when everything feels perfect. But Buddhism teaches something different and much deeper. Peace is not something you wait for outside of you. Peace is something you create inside of you. And one of the most powerful ways to create that peace is simple, but not easy. It is this: sit with yourself in silence. Silence sounds small, but it is one of the greatest forms of self-love. Because silence is where you finally stop running. Silence is where you finally stop hiding. Silence is where you finally stop distracting yourself from your own heart. Many people are not living, they are escaping. They escape into their phone. They escape into music. They escape into scrolling. They escape into chatting. They escape into constant noise, constant work, constant entertainment. Because deep down they are afraid of one thing: being alone with their own mind. And if we are being honest, silence can feel uncomfortable in the beginning. Because when everything becomes quiet, the truth becomes loud. All the emotions you pushed away start showing up. All the pain you ignored starts rising. All the thoughts you avoided begin to surface. That is why people stay busy. They fear what they will feel when they stop moving. But Buddhism teaches that healing begins when you stop running from yourself and finally meet yourself with compassion. A calm mind cannot be built in a life full of constant noise, because noise keeps your mind scattered, noise keeps your heart restless, noise keeps you reacting instead of reflecting. And the more you stay distracted, the more you remain stuck in the same emotional patterns. You keep repeating the same pain because you never sit long enough to understand it. In Buddhism, silence is not emptiness. Silence is presence. Silence is awareness. Silence is the space where you return to your true self. Because your true self is not the anxiety. Your true self is not the overthinking. Your true self is not the pain. Those are experiences passing through you. Your true self is the awareness that notices everything. This is why meditation is such a powerful practice in Buddhism. Meditation is not only sitting with closed eyes. Meditation is training your mind to become calm. It is training your heart to become steady. It is training your awareness to become stronger than your emotions. Because when you meditate, you don't try to control life, you try to understand life. You don't try to escape your thoughts, you learn how to watch them without becoming them. Most people suffer because they believe every thought is true. They believe every fear is real. They believe every memory must be replayed. But meditation teaches you that thoughts are like waves. They rise, they move, and they fall. They come and go, and you don't have to chase them. You don't have to fight them. You only have to observe them. When you sit in silence, you start seeing what is really happening inside you. You start noticing how much tension you carry in your body. You start noticing how often you judge yourself. You start noticing how quickly your mind jumps into fear, into regret, into negativity. And when you see this clearly, you stop being controlled by it, because awareness gives you power. Silence also teaches you something beautiful. You don't need to react to everything. Most people are suffering because they react emotionally to every small thing. Someone says something, and they get hurt. Something goes wrong, and they panic. A plan fails, and they collapse inside. But when you practice silence, you learn to pause. And that pause is the foundation of a calm mind. Because between what happens and how you respond, there is a space. And in that space, you can choose peace. In silence, you also begin to hear your own heart again. Many people have lost connection with themselves. They don't even know what they truly want. They don't know what they truly feel. They don't know what they truly need. They only know what they must do for others. They only know how to survive. They only know how to keep going. But silence brings you back. It reminds you that your feelings matter, your needs matter, your inner world matters. And this is why silence is healing. Because healing does not happen when you keep distracting yourself. Healing happens when you finally allow yourself to feel. And feeling does not mean drowning. Feeling means acknowledging. It means letting the emotion be there without judging it. It means giving yourself permission to be human. Sometimes, silence will bring tears. That's not weakness, that's release. Sometimes, silence will bring heavy memories. That's not failure, that's healing. Sometimes, silence will bring discomfort. That's not danger, that's growth. Because when you have been living in constant noise, silence feels strange at first. But the more you practice it, the more silence starts feeling like home. Buddhism teaches that the mind becomes calm through practice, not through luck. You cannot wish your mind into peace. You train it, and silence is training. When you sit quietly, even for 5 minutes a day, you are teaching your mind to slow down. You are teaching your nervous system to relax. You are teaching your heart that it is safe again. And the best part is, you don't need to do it perfectly. Many people avoid silence because they say, "I can't meditate, my mind is too busy." But Buddhism teaches that meditation is not about having no thoughts. Meditation is about not being controlled by thoughts. Even if your mind is busy, sit anyway. Even if you feel restless, sit anyway. Even if you feel distracted, sit anyway. Every time you return to your breath, you are becoming stronger. A simple Buddhist practice is focusing on breathing. The breath is always in the present. When you focus on your breath, you return to the present. And the present is the only place where peace exists. The past brings regret. The future brings fear. But the present brings calm. So when you sit in silence, you begin to rebuild your life from within. Your mind starts becoming less reactive. Your emotions start becoming lighter. your heart starts becoming softer, and you start feeling something you may not have felt in a long time, peace without needing anything to change outside. This is the true power of silence. Silence gives you your power back. It teaches you that your peace is not dependent on people, situations, or circumstances. Your peace is dependent on your awareness. So, if you want a calm mind and a happy life, stop running from silence. Make silence your medicine. Make silence your teacher. Make silence your safe place. Even if it is only a few minutes each day, sit with yourself. Close your eyes, breathe, observe, return. Because that is where your healing lives. Not in the noise, not in the distractions, not in chasing, but in silence. And once you find peace in silence, you will carry that calmness everywhere you go. 10. Happiness comes when you stop chasing it and start becoming it. Most people spend their whole life chasing happiness, like it is something far away, something they will reach one day, something waiting for them in the future. They think happiness is at the finish line. They believe it will come when they finally get the job, when they finally earn more money, when they finally become successful, when they finally find the perfect relationship, when people finally respect them, when life finally becomes easy. And because of this mindset, they live every day feeling incomplete, because their mind keeps saying, not yet, not yet, not yet. But Buddhism teaches a truth that can completely transform your life. Happiness is not something you chase. Happiness is something you cultivate within. It is not a destination, it is a state of being. It is not something you find outside, it is something you build inside. This is why many people who have everything still feel empty. They have money, they have comfort, they have attention, they have achievements, yet they still feel restless. Because they never learned how to be peaceful within themselves. They thought happiness would arrive like a reward. But happiness does not arrive, happiness grows. In Buddhism, one of the main causes of suffering is craving. Craving means always wanting more. More attention, more love, more success, more comfort, more control, more validation. And the more you crave, the more you suffer, because your mind becomes addicted to more. You can never feel satisfied, because even when you get what you wanted, your mind creates a new desire. You reach one goal and then feel empty again. You win something and then fear losing it. You feel happy for a moment, and then your mind starts chasing the next thing. This is why happiness disappears for so many people. Because they don't know how to stay present. Their body is living in today, but their mind is living in tomorrow. And when your mind is always in tomorrow, you miss your life. You miss the beauty of simple moments. You miss the quiet blessings. You miss the peace that is already around you. Buddhism teaches that a calm mind is created when you stop fighting reality. Most suffering is not caused by life itself. It is caused by resistance. You want things to be different. You want people to change. You want the past to disappear. You want the future to be guaranteed. You want control over everything. And when life doesn't follow your expectations, your mind becomes angry, anxious, and unhappy. But happiness comes when you accept life as it is and respond with wisdom. Acceptance does not mean weakness. Acceptance does not mean you stop improving. Acceptance means you stop creating unnecessary suffering. You stop arguing with reality. You stop wasting energy on what cannot be changed. And you start focusing on what you can control. Your response, your mindset, your actions, and your inner peace. A huge part of Buddhist happiness is simplicity. The happiest people are not always the ones who have the most. Often, the happiest people are those who need the least. They don't need constant praise. They don't need constant entertainment. They don't need everyone to agree with them. They don't need life to be perfect. Their happiness comes from inner stability. Their happiness comes from gratitude. Their happiness comes from being present. Self-love means you stop running after happiness and start becoming a peaceful person. You become someone who does not react to everything. You become someone who does not panic over small problems. You become someone who does not depend on people's approval to feel worthy. You become someone who can sit in silence without feeling empty. You become someone who can enjoy small things without needing big reasons. And this is the moment happiness begins to feel real, because happiness is not a loud excitement that comes and goes. Buddhism teaches that true happiness is quiet. It is steady. It is peaceful. It is the calm feeling of being okay within yourself. It is the feeling of not needing to chase anything to feel complete. Many people think happiness is pleasure, but pleasure is temporary. Pleasure is the dopamine of winning, buying, achieving, showing off. Pleasure comes fast and disappears fast. But happiness in Buddhism is deeper than that. It is contentment. It is inner freedom. It is not being a prisoner of your desires. When you stop chasing happiness, you stop exhausting yourself. You stop living like you are always behind. You stop thinking you are incomplete. You stop waiting for permission to feel good. You start enjoying the present moment, even if life is not perfect. And the most powerful part is this: happiness becomes natural when you stop depending on external things. When you stop depending on people's words to feel valuable. When you stop depending on outcomes to feel calm. When you stop depending on attention to feel alive. Buddhism teaches that you should not build your peace on something that can be taken away, because if your happiness depends on something you can lose, then your happiness is unstable. Money can be lost. People can leave. Situations can change. Your plans can fail. But if your happiness depends on your inner peace, then nobody can steal it. So how do you start becoming happiness? You start by practicing presence. You start by learning gratitude. You start by letting go of what you cannot control. You start by simplifying your desires. You start by focusing on your breath. You start by controlling your reactions. You start by becoming kind to yourself. You start by living with awareness instead of living on autopilot. And one day, you will notice something beautiful. You are no longer chasing happiness. You are living in it. Not because your life became perfect, but because your mind became peaceful. Not because everything went your way, but because you stopped letting life control your emotions. Not because you got everything you wanted, but because you finally realized that peace is better than everything you wanted. This is the ultimate Buddhist self-love lesson. Happiness is not waiting for you somewhere far away. Happiness is built inside you when you stop chasing and start becoming. When you become calm, happiness follows. When you become present, happiness grows. When you become free from craving, happiness becomes your natural state. So don't chase happiness. Become the kind of person who carries peace. Become the kind of person whose mind is calm, even in storms. Become the kind of person who can smile without needing a reason. Because that is real happiness. That is a happy life. And that is the life Buddhism guides you toward. So, my friend, after listening to these lessons, I want you to understand one simple truth that can change your whole life. Self-love is not a luxury, it is a necessity. A calm mind and a happy life are not built by luck, and they are not something you find outside of you. They are built from within you, through awareness, through patience, through letting go, and through learning how to treat yourself with compassion. Buddhism teaches that your suffering does not come only from the world. It also comes from the way you fight yourself, the way you cling to the past, the way you chase people, the way you compare your journey, and the way you allow your thoughts to control you. But the moment you start applying these self-love lessons, you begin to break free. You begin to breathe differently. You begin to feel lighter. You begin to feel stable, not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because you stop letting life destroy your inner peace. And always remember this: you were never your enemy. Your mind was simply tired, your heart was simply carrying too much, and your soul was simply waiting for you to return back to yourselves. So stop rushing your healing, stop blaming yourself for being human. Stop begging for love from people who don't know how to give it. Stop comparing your life to others. Sit with yourself in silence and let your heart feel safe again. Because the more you choose peace daily, the more peace becomes your nature. And when you stop chasing happiness and start becoming it, you will notice something beautiful. The world outside may stay the same, but your world inside becomes calm, strong, and unshakable. If this video helped you even a little, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and comment below. I choose peace, because your calm mind and your happy life starts from one decision: loving yourself the way you always deserved.